Plaintiff Craig Nelson says he became friends with the defendant and his wife through their love of their local hockey team. Craig says he's ashamed to admit that he had an affair with the defendant's wife. And after he confessed his indiscretions to the defendant, he assaulted Craig. So he's suing for his medical bills. Defendant Andrew Whitmer says that when he and his wife were having some problems, he mistakenly confided in Craig about their marital woes. Although Andrew admits that he was upset when he learned of the affair, he denies assaulting Craig. Andrew's countersuing for harassment.
Let's hear from you.
Well, Your Honor, the defendant, myself and his wife, Bree, met each other in September of 2007. We're big hockey fans. We started to go to Columbus Blue Jacket games together, road trips, and just generally hang out and really got along. And on March 14th of this year, we were in the Arena District in Columbus at the Garage Bar.
Columbus, Ohio?
Yes, sir. And when Mr. Whitmer went into the bathroom, his wife had grabbed my hand and put it down her underpants. And I'm not proud of my behavior.
Okay, what did you do? Everybody wants to know what happened when that occurred.
Well, it had been a little while since anyone had my hand down their pants, so I didn't exactly...
How long was that?
I didn't exactly take it out.
How long?
So, there was a hockey game the next day. I gave her a note at the hockey game that pretty much said, hey, if you just want to chalk that up to us drinking, let's just forget about it and move on. That night, she sent me an email from Facebook, which I have here, which confirms the story that I just told, because it says if you want a little more than the preview you had last night, she basically solicited me for sex. It says, but I know what I want, and I think you are willing, and if you are, I'm game for it. And she sent me that email, and I thought about it.
And she said, let's puck. Is that what she said? You were at the hockey game.
I thought about it for a couple days, but you know what? I was 41 and she's 29 and runs marathons, and I thought, nah, what the heck. So on Thursday, March 19th...
You forgot about her being the wife of your friend? That never dawned on you when you were fantasizing about it?
Yes, it did, sir. And as I said, I very much regret what happened and take full responsibility for my actions. And
go ahead.
I can't argue that point with you. I
All
can't.
right, you're suing him for medical bills and an assault. We'll get to that in a minute.
It's okay.
But anything else you want to tell me on the background? You all did pursue. How many times were you with this man's wife? Go ahead. What happened?
Over about a 3-week period, about 4 different times. It culminated when the defendant was in Cincinnati. She came over and spent the night.
All right. Have you heard the specifics of their involvement?
Yes.
Do you mind him restating it?
If he loves to, so let him do it.
Unfortunately,
You say you're getting even more mad. You might get another assault case. You say you're getting mad. Seems like he's getting mad again.
Your Honor, she sent an email the next morning that pretty much said, and I also have that her feelings were starting to become more than like, so that we should pretty much cool things off, which we did at that point. On May 3rd, she was running a marathon in Cincinnati. She was actually down there for the whole weekend with another friend from work that even Mr. Whitmer's friends had some concerns about her relationship with him. But it was at that point I knew that she was kind of playing me, and I actually, as strange as it sounds, I actually felt sorry for Mr. Whitmer, because it's like your wife's kind of running around.
Have you heard the specifics of their involvement?
Yes.
Do you mind him restating it?
If he loves to, so let him do it.
Unfortunately,
You say you're getting even more mad. You might get another assault case. You say you're getting mad. Seems like he's getting mad again.
Defendant Andrew Whitmer is being sued by his former friend, who admits that he had an affair with Andrew's wife.
Let me hear from you, sir.
The plaintiff and I were friends for a while, as he definitely discussed. We were good friends for, you know, Blue Jackets hockey and stuff like that. Unfortunately, there was some marital issues, some questions about my wife's faithfulness to myself. Unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of people to discuss this with, so unfortunately, I confided in the guy who lives alone with a rabbit and a guinea pig by himself, who has confessed to me on numerous times that he falls in love with virtually every woman he ever meets.
You promptly introduced him to your wife. Now that was your fault, that part. Go ahead.
So my wife and myself, we've had some issues. This is all from this month of May. But to be honest, that's between me and her, not between me and then the rabbit guy over here. You know? So we discussed some more. I made the mistake of confiding in him. I really wish I hadn't. And especially when I go back and look at the correspondence that I've had, I have one here where it's about the middle of the month. It's another Facebook message that he sent me via Hotmail.
He sent to you?
He sent to me.
What, you want to read it for me?
He says, anyways, the main reason I am writing to ask you this is if the right time ever comes up, is to please ask Bree if she's ever planning on talking to me about anything again. I don't want to talk about you guys, but why did she cut me off as a friend? I can't even call to ask her. And, you know, in light of the evidence and now the history now, I mean, I don't know really what to believe, and
right.
I don't really care, to be honest.
Have you and your wife been able to reconcile?
Yes, we have.
Good. All right.
And
no, you're not. That people.
I hope I'm not.
Infidelity is very, very, very common. And reconciliation from infidelity is very, very, very common. So you're not different from most of society. So don't feel like that you're some type of...
sucker.
Yeah, I'm trying not to use that term. I'm trying not to use that term. Go ahead, sir. Tell me about the assault you're suing him for and how that came about.
Yes, Your Honor. I mean, you have to understand, his wife was doing some other stuff. He had found out that she, as they were planning their wedding, was sending explicit naked photos not only to the guy that she was with in Cincinnati, but also another gentleman. So I started to feel really bad about stuff, and I told Mr. Whitmer what I did. I confessed in him, and I gave him a copy of the emails because I wanted...
How did you give me those? How did you give me those emails?
I wanted...
How'd you give me the emails?
I went to his house. He wasn't home, so I put the emails on a hockey bag on his porch, and I texted him and told him that they were there because I didn't want to see him in person because obviously I knew there'd be an issue with that, as there should be. He told me at that point to stay away from him and his property, which I did. Then on June 26th, this is when the assault happened, he came, some friends of mine, we went into a hockey bar about 10:30 in the evening, and he had been there probably pretty much most of the day because it seemed like he was pretty well loaded up. He came up to me, stood right next to me, and said, hey. I turned to him and said, hi. And he started to proceed to push me, and I started to walk back around. It was a 4-seat table. I sat back down. I thought he was going to go away. He came running up and pushed me off the chair, and the chair fell down. And as I was walking away, he tackled me from behind, flipped me over, and said, I want the truth, tell me the truth. And the bar staff came, and they saw it, and they escorted him out right away. I went home. I took a look at my leg in the mirror. I have pictures of it. Realized that there were problems, so I called the police.
Let's see your pictures.
Also, would you like the police report, Your Honor?
Yes.
Defendant Andrew Whitmer is being sued by his former friend, who admits that he had an affair with Andrew's wife.
So your leg is swollen here. How was your leg swollen? What caused it to swell?
When he landed on me.
Because this could have been one of those times you had to jump out the window when he was coming. And you were with his wife. Go ahead.
When he landed on me, I was on my stomach, and he twisted me around. I guess it was the force of how he landed and twisted it. It was my left knee.
Let me hear from him, sir.
Yes, sir. To be honest, he kind of glossed over this whole confession thing that he sent to me via Facebook again.
You want to read anything there?
He talks about, I have emails from her that will fully support what I'm about to tell you. I will arrange to get them to you. If nothing else, you may need them in the future. So
Rubbing it in your face.
Yes, exactly. And he said eventually, at one point, he's like, I'm going to put him at your car at work. Because he probably knows where I work because, you know, he's a stalker. He is. He clearly is a stalker. Anybody who goes down to Cincinnati to follow follow someone that he's obsessed with is a stalker. There's nothing more to it.
Your Honor.
He sends me a text message. I'm talking. Adults are talking. He sends me a text message while I'm at work, knowing I'm at work, because when you don't work, you got all sorts of time during the day to aggravate people. And he sends me a text message that says, I will take this out to your house and put it in your hockey bag. Trespassing on my property, breaking and entering into my mudroom on my property. I live out in the country, okay? And then I called on my landlord to say, this guy, shush, I'm not talking to you. If he,
I sent a text
quiet
telling
before
him.
he jumps on you again. Be quiet. Go ahead. So what do you want to tell me about the incident that he's suing you for?
I simply said, I want the truth. I don't believe you. Why are you shoving this down my throat?
This is at the bar?
This is at the bar.
Uh-huh.
I chased him around the table.
Watch yourself. How did this start?
I saw him over there and I saw him sneer.
So you went to talk to him?
Yes.
He sneered at you?
Yes, he did.
You went to talk to him?
Yes,
and
sir.
then what did he do? Was he still sneering?
He wouldn't respond to me. He kept backpedaling.
Was he still sneering? He was?
Might have been. He probably was.
Okay.
Yeah. He's sneering right now.
I didn't want to fight.
So he was sneering at you?
Yes.
And certainly if someone sneers at you, you feel threatened?
Especially based on a past history.
Physically. And how did you respond to feeling threatened physically?
I kept trying to get him to tell me the truth, and I tried to follow him around the foretop.
Watch yourself. Tell me how you responded to the threat. Go ahead.
I felt very aggravated with the situation.
Threatened? Did you still feel threatened? This guy isn't getting it.
Maybe a little. I mean, look at him.
And so how did you respond to the threat? I mean, what would you do?
Yeah, I'd be threatened.
And then how would you respond?
I'd run.
Oh. What if you can't get away? You're in the confines of a bar. Don't you think you would be within your right to defend yourself? Yeah. Because someone is sneering and looking at you like they're going to get you.
I can't get out.
Okay, but that may not be what happened. I need to hear what happened. Sir?
So
Tell me what happened.
I followed him around the table, tried to get him to tell me the truth.
Okay.
He backpedaled, he fell down, I fell on top of him.
Okay.
And then
That's not as good as my story, sir.
Yeah, I know. I fell on him.
All right.
I slipped and fell. It was kind of...
So that's perhaps what caused his injuries.
He touched me numerous times while we were walking around the table going like this. He came up and physically pushed me off the chair, and as I was walking away, next thing I know, I'm on the ground.
What did the police do, sir? You say you have a police report. What did they do? Was he arrested, prosecuted, and convicted?
No, what I did...
Why not?
Well, I did file a complaint with the prosecutor's office for criminal. They did decide not to pursue it criminally.
Why?
I don't know, Your Honor.
Oh, I know.
So
they
I
obviously
decided to
didn't
pursue
believe
it
he
civilly.
did it. They obviously didn't believe your side. They obviously believed he did nothing wrong or illegal. Your counterclaim, $4,800 for harassment, is for what?
Well, he filed the claim on August the 8th. October the 21st, he sent an email message entitled "Happy Anniversary" to my wife and to my wife's work email address, saying, "Congratulations! It's been a year since you first tied a knot. I can't help but wonder how many more middle-aged, ugly, overweight guys will you fool around with in your second year of marriage." This
Your
is
Honor,
basically in the guise. I'm not done.
I didn't say that.
This is basically in the guise of someone else. I guess this is supposed to be a female admirer.
Well, how do you know it was him, though?
How do I know it was him?
Yeah.
Because it was entitled "Red Wings Sucks" at yahoo.com. And the username
Detroit
for
Red Wings.
Yeah. I don't want to get in that argument with you.
Go ahead. Tell me how else he
We're
harassed
Blue
you.
Jackets fans.
Tell me how else he harassed you.
Because, be honest, who else really cares about this whole situation but him?
or me.
Defendant Andrew Whitmer is being sued by his former friend, who admits that he had an affair with Andrew's wife.
Harassment can be in the form of someone stalking or someone causing extreme emotional distress. And certainly your friend sleeping with your wife and telling you about it and rubbing it in your face is extreme, outrageous, and certainly would cause severe stress. Judgment for the defendant, $4,800 for emotional distress. Your claim is dismissed. Have a good day.
My wife and I are going to move on in a Craig Nelson-free existence.
Sounds good to me.
Thank God.
And now a special throwback update as the defendant is back in Judge Mathis's courtroom.
Plaintiff Andrew Whitmer says since his last appearance on Judge Mathis, he and the defendant became friends. And Andrew often has to babysit him when he's drunk. Andrew's suing because he claims the defendant unnecessarily called an ambulance for him and he was stuck with a bill. Defendant Jeff Kennedy insists he saved Andrew's life, and he has no idea why he's in court today. Jeff says he was forced to call an ambulance after Andrew passed out cold, and he's countersuing for dental bills and lost wages.
Start with you.
All right. You probably don't remember this, but I was actually on your show a while ago, about 13 years actually, for a different former friend, because I know how to pick them.
Yep.
He's a hockey fan. The hockey.
Where'd you all meet?
The former friend or this friend?
This friend.
Well, as it turns out, you helped me out a lot actually when I was here, and so after the court case, I no longer was friends with that guy. I did eventually end up divorcing the wife because she left videos on her phone. Apparently, she wanted to be caught.
With him?
No, with some other guy. So, yeah, I can pick him. So, and then I ended up meeting a woman shortly after leaving the wife. Had a kid, beautiful little daughter. Kind of changed my life, but
Stop, please. I pray, Lord, he's not going to tell me. Your new wife, sir? Please
no,
tell me.
no.
Okay. Well, that was a close call. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, no.
That was going to be it.
No,
for
that's
me.
a long time.
I don't want to retire yet, but that might have been it. You told me the second man and the second wife.
Oh, God, no.
I haven't been able to take no more of this show. So thank God that didn't happen. And you and your
Yes.
new wife have a beautiful family.
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
So eventually, I ended up meeting this guy over here at a kayaking thing. We had some mutual friends, and like a kayaking and like hockey thing.
So things went well up until when?
About October last year. We went out, we had fun, we would party, and you know.
Okay, let me allow him to catch up, and then we'll get to the incident that you are suing him for, sir.
Yeah, if we're done talking about cheating ex-wives and things, I'd like to just put it out there that I saved this guy's life, and for some reason he's dragging me into this courtroom. This is just insane to me. I don't know why I'm here.
How did you save his life?
He was having a bad night. We attended a concert together. We were leaving the concert. We were gonna go find somewhere to grab a bite to eat, wait for an Uber to pick us up. We walk out of the building and he's fading fast, Your Honor. He is slurring his words. He's stumbling around. I'm like, dude, you gotta get it together. Like, we're almost to the restaurant. Just get it together. And he says he needs to sit down. Next thing I know, he is passed out in somebody's yard, and someone came out of the building and said that we must leave this area or he is calling the police. I attempt to get him out of there. I mean, look at this guy, Your Honor. Does he look like he's very easy to carry?
Right, and that's why I wouldn't have. I would have let the police come. And if the people were going to call the police on you, that's just what you needed. Yeah, y'all were both drunk. You were real drunk if you decided not to have the police come and rescue him rather than you removing him just because he's knocked out on somebody's yard, clearly in need of an ambulance, just because they say if you don't move him, we're gonna do what? What were they gonna do if you didn't move him?
I did not want to stick around long enough to see what the police how they would have handled the situation.
They would have taken him to the hospital.
Defendant Jeff Kennedy says after the plaintiff passed out drunk, he called an ambulance to try and save his life. But the plaintiff insists it was unnecessary, so he's suing.
Go ahead, sir.
I mean, I don't know why he wants credit for, babysitting me one time when I have to constantly babysit him.
For what reason?
Because of alcohol. I mean, some of us can handle it, some of us can't.
Give me some of the instances you've tried to save him.
Well, definitely one of the times we were in Pittsburgh, and I went and he engaged the bouncer and had him chase him around and
What are you talking about? That was you.
No, it wasn't.
This guy's memory must be escaping him.
That's insane.
Give me another incident.
Well, definitely when we would go on the road trips or whatever, and he would try to start pick fights with opposing fans and stuff.
No.
I mean, you're going in, they're going to hate you.
Yep.
You don't need to make the whole arena hate you.
Yep. All right. Why don't you tell me about your friendship otherwise? Has he done anything to cross you?
Well, other than this incident, I mean, it's been a fairly good friendship. We have a good time together. Some of our friends refer to us as the wild cards. We're a little unpredictable. Nobody really knows exactly what's going to happen when we get together.
Got it.
It's always an adventure.
Got it. Sir, tell me what happened in this instance to cause you to sue him.
I remember we went to the concert and we're drinking a lot. That's shocking, I know. And I stumbled outside and I said, I'm good. I'm gonna go, I go walkabout. People kind of refer to me as going walkabout on occasion. Never harm anybody, find an adventure, maybe not. And somehow I ended up at the hospital. There's little pieces missing.
You don't remember when you went out or fell out?
Barely. I have there's missing pieces. It was definitely I sat down and they took me, and I remember getting shoved into an ambulance. I remember resisting I didn't want to go in the ambulance. I know that because I was fine.
Go ahead. Sir, you tell me, you just told me how it happened. That is, you were rescuing him?
I was attempting to carry him, and I stumbled and fell, and he fell on top of me, kind of landed on top of my head, and I had some dental damage due to that fall. Broke this tooth in half. This one's chipped and cracked. It was scary. I get up and I'm bleeding out of my mouth, and
He gave me the impression he was walking by himself at that point.
No, sir.
You tell me, you all walked out together?
Correct.
And what happened?
Andy, my girlfriend, and I all walked out together.
Mm-hmm.
That's when he needed to take a break. Ended up taking a nap.
Why did he say he needed to take a break? He didn't tell you why?
Your guess is as good as
mine,
mine, sir.
Y'all just stood over him and he didn't have to tell you why? Your counterclaim is for what? Because you picked him up and fell? All right, he probably fought like he admits to fighting with the ambulance. That's probably why you fell, because he was probably fighting you. If he gonna fight the ambulance, why wouldn't he fight the person?
Well, he was dead weight, Your Honor.
Pardon me?
He was dead weight.
Okay, judgment for the plaintiff. Yours is dismissed. Thanks for letting me know that it was dead weight and he couldn't move and you were negligent in carrying him.
Gotcha, you son of a...
Dude, this is ridiculous. What is your problem, man? All I wanted was a thank you, and instead you have made me relive one of the worst nights of my life over and over and over again.
You want to thank you for the one time I help you out.